Welcome back, everybody. Today, we're going to be taking a deep dive into some really strange disappearances.
Oh, yeah.
Cases that'll make you wonder
Absolutely.
if some people just kind of stepped off the map.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about hikers vanishing in the middle of trails.
Right?
A musician gone missing in the clouds.
Wow.
Even a whole village that up and disappeared overnight.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
And to help us sort through all this, we've got an expert with us who can... hopefully sift through all the facts and maybe even connect some of the dots.
You know, these cases are more than just regular missing persons reports.
Right.
They really make you question what we know about reality.
Exactly. Like, take David Lang, for instance.
Okay.
The guy's working in his field 1 minute and then, poof,
Yeah.
gone.
Wow.
His family sees the whole thing.
No way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or how about Jim Sullivan, the musician? His album, get this, was called UFO.
Oh, wow.
And then guess what?
Okay.
He disappears in the desert.
Yeah. You kidding?
I know, right? Stuff like that makes you feel like you've stepped into the Twilight Zone.
It really does. You get caught up in the what ifs,
Yeah.
but it's important to be a little skeptical, too.
Okay, so let's try to break down these mysteries.
Yeah.
We've got missing individuals, vanishing groups, the whole spectrum.
Right.
Where should we even begin?
Well, let's start with the group disappearances.
Okay.
They really show just how strange this all is.
Okay.
Like the Eilean Moor lighthouse keepers.
Right, the lighthouse keepers.
3 guys stationed on this remote Scottish island just vanish.
Yeah,
The weirdest part, they left signs of a rushed exit.
like they were interrupted or something.
Exactly, but no clue as to why they left or where they went.
So it's like they were just plucked right out of their lives.
Right.
Oh, and speaking of groups vanishing,
Yeah?
the Sauter children case,
Oh, yeah, that one's chilling.
5 kids disappear during a house fire, and there's absolutely no trace of them in the ashes.
It's heartbreaking and a total mystery.
It's a parent's worst nightmare, for sure.
Absolutely, and they investigated the fire thoroughly,
Right.
but nothing supported the family's idea of a kidnapping.
And then there's the story of those soldiers at Gallipoli.
Oh, wow.
A whole regiment disappears into fog on the battlefield during World War I.
That's right.
It sounds like something out of a ghost story.
I know, it's eerie. The fog and the chaos of war add another layer of complexity.
Right.
Of course, soldiers going missing in battle isn't unheard of,
Yeah, sadly.
but the sheer number who vanished at Gallipoli is really hard to explain.
It does make you wonder if there was something else going on, something we just don't understand.
You start to think about things outside of normal explanations.
Especially when you consider the disappearances linked to certain places.
Yes.
Like the Bennington Triangle in Vermont.
The Bennington Triangle is truly fascinating.
It's like a hot spot for unexplained disappearances.
Exactly. Hikers, campers, even a bus full of people
Wow.
gone without a trace.
You're making the hair on the back of my neck stand up.
Uh-huh.
And it's not just the Bennington Triangle. That's right.
Stonehenge, too, with all its ancient energy.
Yeah.
Didn't a group of men disappear there after some strange light appeared?
They did. And don't forget the M Cave in Nevada.
Right, the M Cave.
Hikers keep vanishing there, including a YouTuber named Kenny Veach.
What happened to him?
He was documenting his search for this cave and then vanished. What's even creepier is that some people searching for the missing hikers felt this intense dread and nausea in the area.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Are we talking like some paranormal force field or something?
Well, we can't say for sure, but
Right.
those consistent reports definitely suggest something unusual is happening.
So we've got vanishing groups and places that seem to swallow people whole.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the disappearances where the circumstances themselves are just bizarre.
Oh, absolutely.
Those are the real head scratchers.
This is where things get really interesting.
Yeah.
We're going beyond strange locations and into situations that defy logic.
Okay, give me an example.
Brandon Swanson.
Driving home gets lost and vanishes while talking to his parents on his cell phone.
So they could hear him.
Yes, they could hear him. And then silence.
Wow.
They found his car, but no Brandon.
It's like he just stepped into another dimension.
The last thing his parents heard was a startled exclamation.
Like he was surprised by something.
Exactly, like he stumbled into something he never expected.
That's creepy.
And then there's the case of Lars Mittank.
Lars Mittank, okay.
This guy ran from an airport in Bulgaria, leaving all his stuff behind,
Yeah.
and disappeared into the woods.
Just like that.
It's like something straight out of a movie.
What happened?
Security footage shows him getting more and more paranoid in the days before.
Really?
He seemed genuinely terrified, like something unseen was after him.
Okay, that's officially nightmare fuel.
Yeah, it's a scary one.
Okay, one more. How about Alfred Lowenstein? The guy who supposedly vanished from his private plane in mid-flight. How do
Yes.
you just fall out of a plane and disappear without a trace?
It's baffling. It's one of aviation's biggest mysteries.
Really?
No signs of a struggle, no distress signals, and they never found his body.
Like he just ceased to exist at 3,000 feet.
It really is strange.
You know, thinking about all these cases,
Mhm.
there's a common thread.
What's that?
A lot of these people disappear without a struggle, no signs of a fight or anything.
You're right. It makes you think they were taken or transported somehow.
Taken, transported, to where? By what?
That's the million-dollar question.
Okay.
To get closer to an answer, maybe we should look at some of the theories that try to explain these disappearances.
Okay, lead the way, but promise me you won't make me afraid to turn off the lights tonight.
Haha. I can't promise anything. Reality can be stranger than fiction after all.
Oh, great. That's just what I wanted to hear.
Haha. All right, let's start with a theory that really pushes the boundaries of what we think is possible.
Okay, hit me.
Dimensional slips.
Dimensional slips. Okay, you're going to have to break this down for me.
Okay, imagine reality like a fabric. It's woven tight, but there are a few loose threads here and there. And those loose threads, those weak points, that's where people could slip through to other dimensions,
Oh, wow.
maybe even parallel universes.
So like a cosmic trapdoor that people just fall through.
It's a simplified way to think about it, but yeah, kinda.
Okay.
Some theorists believe that places with unusual energy fields, like those we talked about earlier,
Right.
could be more prone to these dimensional tears.
So maybe the Bennington Triangle and that M cave.
Exactly.
There are like cosmic weak spots where reality is a little, well, flimsy.
Exactly. And then we have the theory of time anomalies.
Time anomaly.
Think about those old vinyl records.
Okay.
A scratch on a record can make the needle skip, jump to a different part of the song.
Right.
So what if these missing people got caught in a time warp, like accidental time travelers?
Okay, so they're transported to a different point in time, past or future,
Yeah, essentially.
and leave no trace in their original timeline.
Right.
Mind-blowing. But wait, what about cases like Zeb Quinn, where
Right.
there are those weird clues left behind?
yeah.
The puppy in the car, the lipstick on the window.
You're right.
Those feel intentional, like someone wanted to leave a message.
You've got a point there. Those cases with deliberate clues are especially strange.
Yeah.
It does seem like someone or something wants us to know something unusual happened.
Okay, a message from beyond. Now I'm really spooked. But seriously, are we talking ghosts here? Or some otherworldly beings?
But we have to consider everything,
Right.
even if it sounds far-fetched.
Okay.
Some believe those clues could be from the missing people themselves, trying to communicate from wherever they ended up.
Whoa! A postcard from the Twilight Zone.
Uh-huh.
This is getting pretty deep, but before we go too far down the rabbit hole,
Yeah,
aren't there some more, well, grounded explanations?
of course.
Like, couldn't some of these disappearances be caused by, I don't know, natural events?
You're right. We have to balance the more out there ideas
Yeah.
with plausible explanations. Some researchers think certain disappearances might be linked to undiscovered geological events,
Okay, like what?
like sudden sinkholes
Right.
or underground caverns that open up and swallow people whole.
Yeah, that would explain how some people just seem to vanish into thin air.
Exactly. The Earth is constantly changing.
Uh,
It's totally possible that geological processes we don't even know about yet could be behind some of these.
that makes sense, but what about the conspiracy theories?
Oh, yeah.
The government experiments, the alien abductions.
Right.
Surely there's no evidence for that stuff, right?
Conspiracy theories love the unknown.
Right.
And while it's good to keep an open mind, we also need to stick to the facts.
Okay.
Right now, there's no real proof to support any of those claims.
I have to admit, the idea of aliens taking people to another planet does sound kind of cool, though.
I get it. The idea is fascinating.
Right.
But let's not forget about the human element.
What do you mean?
Well, sometimes the simplest answer is the right one. Disappearances can happen because of foul play,
Right.
kidnappings, murders, even people choosing to disappear on purpose.
I guess we can't rule those out.
We can't, especially when there's signs of a struggle or other hints of a crime.
Like in the case of the Yuba County, four men found dead, but the fifth one vanishes.
It's a tragic reminder that not every disappearance is paranormal.
Yeah.
Human actions can be just as mysterious as any unexplained phenomenon.
So where does that leave us? We have all these theories, but no real answers.
That's the thing about these cases. They just don't have simple answers.
Right.
But that doesn't mean we can't learn from them.
What can we learn from people vanishing into thin air? It's terrifying.
These cases challenge us to admit what we don't know.
Uh-huh.
They remind us that there's so much we don't understand about the world, about reality itself.
So we just have to accept that people can disappear and there's nothing we can do?
Not at all. The search for answers goes on.
Okay.
Researchers are always looking at things from new scientific angles. Investigators are using new tech to look at old cases.
Right.
And the families of the missing keep fighting for closure.
So there's hope that one day we might actually solve these mysteries.
Absolutely. Humans are driven by this need to understand,
Yeah.
to make sense of the world. That's what keeps us exploring the unknown, searching for answers, even when faced with the most baffling disappearances.
I admire your optimism, but I gotta say, I'm still a little freaked out.
It's understandable to feel uneasy when you're dealing with the unexplained.
Yeah.
It shakes our sense of order, of security.
So how do we deal with that feeling?
How do we live knowing that people can just vanish? Maybe by embracing the mystery,
Okay.
by acknowledging that there are forces out there, forces we may never fully grasp.
So we just learn to live with the unknown.
Not just live with it, embrace it.
Okay.
That's what makes life interesting.
I see your point still. I think I'll be double-checking my locks tonight, just in case.
Probably a good idea.
But hey, enough with the theories and speculation. Let's dive into some specific cases you brought with you.
Right.
Starting with the story of David Lang.
Yeah.
The man who disappeared in broad daylight right in front of his family.
David Lang's disappearance, man. That one really messes with your head.
I know, we were just talking about him.
It's 1880, rural Tennessee.
Okay.
David Lang, a farmer, is walking across his field. His family's watching from the porch. And poof, he vanishes.
Just like that, in the middle of the field.
Gone, just like that.
Were there any other witnesses? Besides his family, I mean.
His wife and kids swore they saw him disappear.
Wow.
And some neighbors said they'd seen him walking earlier that day.
Okay.
But the thing is, there was no explanation, no hidden ditches, no caves, nothing.
So he literally vanished into thin air.
It seems that way. And you mentioned other cases like this.
Right, people just disappearing instantly.
Exactly. Cases that defy all logic, like Owen Parfitt.
Owen Parfitt.
This old gentleman in England, back in 1763.
Okay.
He was sitting in his sister's yard. She went inside for a minute. Came back out, and he was gone.
Just like that.
Gone. And considering his age, it's unlikely he wandered off.
So no sinkholes, no secret ravines. What are we left with?
Right.
Back to those crazy theories. Dimensional slips, time warps.
Well, maybe not. Those are fun to think about. But we got to remember, human perception isn't perfect.
What do you mean?
Our memories can be unreliable.
You think these witnesses were mistaken?
Not necessarily lying.
But they saw their husband, their father, disappear.
Trauma and shock can affect how we remember things.
So their minds could have filled in the blanks.
It's possible our brains try to create a story, even if it doesn't match reality.
So David Lang's family might have, I don't know, imagined it.
It's a possibility. Sometimes the truth is more, well, ordinary than we'd like.
I guess. But what about Zeb Quinn? The physical evidence, the puppy, the lipstick, the drawing.
Right. Those cases are tougher.
You can't blame that on faulty memories.
Cases with physical clues add another layer to the puzzle.
Like Zeb Quinn, it's a perfect example. What do those clues even mean?
Some think it's a distraction, a way to mislead investigators.
A red herring?
Maybe. Others say it could be psychological, messing with people's heads.
Toying with the investigators.
Exactly.
That's unsettling. Someone out there knows what happened and is playing games.
It's a possibility.
Will we ever know for sure?
It's hard to say. Some cases go unsolved for years.
Yeah.
Then a new clue pops up or a witness comes forward.
You never know.
The important thing is to never stop looking for answers.
And what about the families? The people left behind not knowing what happened.
I know, it's a heavy burden to carry.
It must be agonizing, the uncertainty.
The emotional toll is immense. They live with unanswered questions, haunted by the unknown.
I can't even imagine.
Many of them dedicate their lives to searching, holding on to hope.
It's inspiring, their strength and determination.
Absolutely. These stories show us the mystery of the unknown and the resilience of the human spirit.
So, after all these cases, all the theories and speculation, what have we learned?
Well, I think the biggest lesson is that we don't know everything. These cases force us to face that.
They remind us that there are things we may never understand.
Exactly. Mysteries that might always be beyond our grasp.
We just have to accept that, right? Live with the unknown.
Embrace it. It's part of what makes life so fascinating.
That's a good way to look at it.
There's still so much out there to discover, so many secrets to unravel.
Well said, and thank you for guiding us through all this.
It's been my pleasure.
To our listeners, we leave you with a question.
What mysteries are hiding right under your nose?
What unexplained events have you encountered?
Maybe it's time for you to start your own deep dive.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and never stop searching for the truth.
No matter how strange or elusive it may seem.